we were having too much fun.
Well, because as you know, we only do like a half-hour show at a time. We never go longer than that. I mean, we don't have enough to talk about. We never do.
Sure, that's the problem.
Definitely the problem. No, we have bigger problems. Bigger fish to fry, or should I say, turkeys to cook.
Ooh.
Can't tell you how many people couldn't keep... I can't tell you how many customers... I work in retail now, for those of you listeners who don't know, as a cashier. Can't believe how many customers didn't understand the terms and conditions of our turkey sale coupons.
Like
Limit
what?
1 for transactions, very clear. Okay, if you spend $20 on stuff besides the turkey, you can get $10 off or $17 off on a turkey, depending on how much it weighs.
Okay.
Limit 1 per transaction. Someone else came up today with 2 turkeys, thinking that because she spent at least $40 on other stuff, that'd be okay. No.
Lies.
You gotta divide up the transaction. You're an idiot. You don't deserve to be allowed in public. But anyway...
I don't think it's quite that bad,
but
okay.
Yeah, well, when she decided she didn't want the turkey, I paused the transaction to return it to... sometimes when there's cold stuff, you can just be like, take it back when it's convenient. I just grabbed the turkey and walked away and went back to the people who were responsible for returning it and just made her stand there and wait. Because she was an idiot and deserved it. Oh. But anyway, and then the cold turkey got to go back and someone else got to buy it.
Yay!
But anyway, today was the last day of that sale anyway. It was going on like all November. Most people got it. And you could even buy a bigger turkey for $17 off and a smaller turkey and get $10 off and do that in the same transaction. You just couldn't do it with the same size. Or two of the... You couldn't do that. Yeah. And then there was another thing about, on Thanksgiving Day specifically, where fresh turkeys were 50% off on top of the dollars off. And there were some customers who would come up with frozen ones. Or something of just a breast and think that would still apply. It's like, no! Frozen equals hard. Solid. You can't eat it today. Fresh equals you can make it as soon as you go home. Idiots. But anyway, we'd be stuck working on Thanksgiving Day, dealing with these idiots who have no business shopping on Thanksgiving Day. Walmart in particular, this is something that in my opinion is really just disgusting and stupid on so many levels.
Oh, come on, you're stealing my thunder.
I'll get into it a little later, but Andy, you brought up this story to me. Tell me all about it.
I think it's heartwarming and fantastic.
Sarcasm?
No.
Well, I'm going to
No, that's the point that's the stance I'm taking.
Oh, boy.
One local Walmart started a collection. They started a collection for people in need. They set out bins where you could donate items so that people in need could enjoy Thanksgiving dinner. What I don't understand, people seem to take an issue with this because the people they were collecting for were their own employees. They were collecting food for workers who had fallen on hard times. No one says these are full-time employees. No one says they're, getting the big bucks. They could be working there 15 hours a week, barely scraping by. Wouldn't you want to have someone looking out for you?
So why don't you skim through the stories and give us the facts, and then we can discuss opinions, shall we?
Okay.
Like what I do.
Fine, trying to squeeze me into your little box.
What box?
You have this nice little defined
You're starting to make decent points, but I want to... I don't want to change my stance. So let's just...
All right.
Give me the facts so I can spin it.
Okay, one Walmart in Canton, Ohio. Put out a bunch of bins with signs that says, please donate food items here so associates in need can enjoy Thanksgiving dinner. Walmart, the Walmart representatives, national level, have been kind of scrambling to cover for it. Try to, let me think. The spokesman says, it is for associates who have had some hardships come up. Maybe their spouse lost a job. Maybe this is part of the company's culture to rally around associates and take care of them when they face extreme hardship.
See, that statement bothers me.
Okay, why?
So maybe they have different things. Okay, who came up with that statement again? Why don't you just repeat who made that statement?
Corey Lundberg, a Walmart spokesman.
Okay, so who gave him that statement? Someone at corporate, right?
Someone corporate.
Well, here's the thing, essentially. Corporate's admitting that they have workers who are falling on hard times. These workers are solely responsible, and Walmart makes more money than any other retail chain in the country, and they could easily afford to pay these people enough money that they wouldn't be reliant on government assistance, yet they never do it. What do you have to say to that?
Here they are trying to bring people together and get them to support each other. And
well, they shouldn't have to do this. And they act nice for PR around this time of year. So people like you
can't
can try to say that Walmart's doing something right. Walmart doesn't do anything right. And morally.
They can't claim responsibility for everything that happens in everybody's lives.
But they can claim responsibility for the low wages.
Who says these aren't even full-time people necessarily? These are associates. This could be a high school...
Okay. Andy, you're the man, and I love presenting you for this, but now I have the article linked up. It's my turn to host.
Okay, fine. You take a crack at it.
Here's the deal. Most Walmart's employees make less than $25,000 per year. This is according to a calculation by the Huffington Post's Dave Jameson. And this relatively low wage, you know what that means? It means that Walmart workers end up relying on means other than pay, such as this food drive, to get by. One Walmart's low wages could cost taxpayers $900,000 per year because workers have to use safety net programs such as food stamps, or the bridge card in our case in Michigan, and government-subsidized health care to make ends meet. And a Walmart representative, which first reported the Canton Food Drive, he noted that the donations are indicative.
Indicative, you had it right.
I did? How about that? Of a supportive employee culture. Not proof of low wages at all. Can it be both? We have low wages. See, we have low wages. See, he's only admitting half the problem. Yeah, of course employees are going to stick together. I know what that's like. I'm in a union. Walmart workers aren't. But I have conversations with my coworkers about stuff like this all the time. We're very stick-together-y. There's certain things I'll talk about in front of my fellow team members that I won't talk to my managers about. There's certain barriers that I put up between myself and managers that I won't put up with coworkers. Like, do I get along with some of my managers? Yes. Would I ever add them on Facebook? Hell no.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
But
there'll always be camaraderie among the troops, the guys in the trenches.
Now, the event here is specific to the Canton store, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Walmart workers elsewhere are also allowed to donate money to their colleagues in need through a payroll donation. This is according to the Cleveland Plain Dealer. So it's like, well, I make more here at Walmart than you do. I am smarter with my money. I'm allowed to give you money through my paycheck. What, you can't? As opposed to just personally loaning your coworkers money, you can be like, well, I'll give back to other workers here in California because the rich people at the top won't do it themselves. So we're going to make... And here we are. This spokesperson is trying to promote this like this is a nice culture.
They're just setting...
I'm on a roll. Well, here's the thing. These are the people who should be doing it. Oh,
You're ranting against the...
Yes, I'm ranting against the payroll deduction.
They're just setting up an efficient...
It's manipulative.
They're setting up a streamlined in-house way to share with people.
You know what, though?
Sure, you could write...
People who aren't making enough money to give donations that matter.
How do you know?
Because they're team members at Walmart. They make hourly wages. And I gotta risk... I don't want to wake up anybody who's sleeping, so I'm starting to lower my voice downstairs. But, it's like... Why can't the people just make these donations themselves? It's like, okay, it's like when I walk into Speedway, past, and they've got a charitable thing going with the Children's Miracle Network, and they say, would you like to add $1 to your bill so some proceeds will go to the Children's Miracle Network? It's like, I barely make any money. Why doesn't Speedway just donate a portion of my bill to them themselves? Huh? No, I'm not going to add $1 to my bill. Why don't you take 10% of my current bill and donate that? and do that once a year or something to everybody's bill. Because you have the money to do it.
Because it doesn't raise awareness.
Sure
That doesn't get you involved. They're just
But
sort
it's
of...
the right thing. Why do we have to carry the whole burden, huh? Why?
Is there something wrong with donating $1 to little kids with cancer?
No! You're missing my point completely. Workers can get up to Oh, here's another thing. Workers can get up to $1,500 from coworker donations to address emergencies like homelessness. Oh, well, that's nice. We got workers, people who help run the most successful retail chain in the world. Yet, many of our workers are suffering homelessness. This is the first example in the sentence. This doesn't bother you?
They're not the only place in the world. It's not.
And there's a limit. You can only get up to $1,500. Even if you need more, nope, stops at $1,500. Buck stops here. And
again, that's just through the...
And if you're in a state where the governor is cutting down on entitlements, well then, ain't nobody looking out for you. Ain't nobody got time for that.
At least you know your
Lord,
memes.
it's Jesus, it's the mortgage. Ain't nobody got time for that.
At least you know your memes?
I mean, I got a little heated up here, didn't I? First conversation. This is just like old times. But no, go ahead. This was your story. I said my piece. Is there anything that we've failed to cover so far on this story? What else are we missing out on? What am I missing out on? And what haven't you covered?
Well, $25,000 a year. I mean, I don't know.
It's barely.
I'll say it again. They're not. It's more about, a lot of these things are about reading in between the lines, but they don't specify if those are. I mean, they could be. How do I say this? Part-time high schoolers could easily be dragging the average down.
Well, part-time high schoolers don't need food donated to them unless their parents are poor. Which I guess would help your argument a little bit, but...
Once again, when nothing is specified, you always
fact of the matter
is,
though, they're basically admitting, by having this is bad for PR. How you find this good? Well, you know what? You ought to be a PR representative for corporations or something, because you are spinning like a Beyblade. You remember those things? You remember those things?
Oh... Yes, I do.
You're spinning like a Beyblade. But anyway, please donate food items here so associates in need can enjoy Thanksgiving dinner. So essentially, if customers who shop at Walmart don't come in, even though you're earning your own money and you have your own job, you still can't put food on the table. Yet there are people out there who collect more money on unemployment who can have a good Thanksgiving meal. That also sends the wrong message. Don't work for Walmart. If you work for Walmart, you're going to be reliant on customers. The same store whose clientele is also trash. Because if you shop at Walmart, I mean, you're either you're trash in one way or another. But anyway, it just makes no sense. You're almost overanalyzing this in some ways. You have to donate. If you have a job where you make so little money that people have to give you charitable donations for you to eat Thanksgiving dinner, you're just one step above being homeless. You might as well not be working. You might as well just be sitting in some downtown studio apartment waiting for the welfare check every month, watching Jerry Springer. That's what this is promoting a culture of entitlement.
No, it's not. Are you freaking kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. What was it?
How is this promoting a culture of entitlement?
All their workers, pretty much all of them, need government assistance. Even though
Hold on, no.
They spend 40 hours a week working at Walmart.
That's not entitlement. These is people working their asses off. I don't see how that's entitlement.
But Here's the thing. You know what I mean, though. Maybe entitlement doesn't sound like the right word, but the fact of the matter is, even though you're working your ass off, you still need the assistants. Yet you are giving your life, you are giving your livelihood to a company that makes billions a year. And they can't give you a living wage. I'm sorry. That's a culture of dependency. You don't like the word entitlement? Fine. How about dependency? Is that a better word? You're dependent on Walmart.
It's more accurate.
Not only do they pay you barely anything, you probably give half your money back to them to buy groceries. Okay? I have coworkers at Meijer who are also on food stamps. One who's a full-time person. I got another one who's part-time. And she has to limit her hours every week so she can stay eligible. How that works, I don't quite get it. But that's the problem. So, by setting this up on display, you are basically showing your true colors. As a company, our employees slave away. So you guys can all save money. And we pay them next to nothing. It's disgusting. And you know what else is also disgusting? The fact that some Pizza Hut locations feel the need to be open on Thanksgiving Day. One particular manager agreed, and according to him, it cost him his job. Tony Rohr was his name. He was a general manager of a Pizza Hut in Elkhart, Indiana, who claims he was fired for refusing to force employees to work on Thanksgiving Day. This is according to one of their local TV stations, WSBT 22. Got a nice little picture that proves his employment. It's a Pizza Hut hat and a name tag with his name on it. He had worked there for more than 10 years before finally deciding that enough was enough. He told his bosses it wasn't fair to force people to work on a day meant for family. Now, more than 60% of Americans say stores should close on Thanksgiving Day, according to a recent poll taken by the Huffington Post. And various petitions have also surfaced on the internet about saving Thanksgiving from Black Friday. Hopefully all those people avoided shopping. Otherwise their signatures are meaningless. Huh? But he says, I said, why can't we be the company that stands up and says we care about our employees and they can have the day off? Thanksgiving and Christmas are the only 2 days that they're closed in the whole year, and they're the only 2 days that those people are guaranteed to have off to spend with their families. Now, Rohr additionally claims that he was asked to pen a letter of resignation. Instead, he wrote a letter which he showed the station, and it railed against the company. Here's one excerpt from the letter. I am not quitting. I do not resign. However, I accept that the refusal to comply with this greedy, immoral request means the end of my tenure with this company. I hope you realize that it's the people at the bottom of the totem pole that make your life possible. Hunter,
Dun, dun, dun.
Sounds kind of like what I was saying about Walmart and the wages.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like me and him are kind of on the same wavelength here. You feeling that?
I feel like you and literally everyone else who talks about this.
So are you saying that you're arguing against everybody and that more people agree with what I've been yelling about?
Yeah.
Huh, how about
the
that?
majority are on your side. I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's good. Now,
because I think the majority of us are on the bottom of the totem pole. It's that
I can't wait till you get. Well, you had a summer job, so you've done some work. But I can't wait until you really get out there in the working world and feel it. Combine it with school or deal with the public.
Deal with the public. Oh God,
Make
never.
less than $10 an hour and see how you feel. Just a side note. Now, Pizza Hut had a statement that they made to the Huffington Post. This is funny. I know. Well, not funny, but This is just your typical stupid statement. This is clearly an unfortunate situation, and we are very upset by what has transpired in Elkhart, Indiana. While the choice as to whether a restaurant should be open or closed on a holiday is handled at the local level by our independent franchisees, we feel strongly that this situation could have been avoided. We respect an employee's decision not to work on a holiday if they so choose, which is why the vast majority of Pizza Huts in America are closed on Thanksgiving. The stores that are open to service their local communities are staffed by team members with the willingness to work on this day, as determined by their own personal situations. We will monitor and evaluate the situation closely and regret what has occurred. Sounds like total BS to me.
Oh, I was going to say it sounds a lot more reasonable than what that guy was saying.
I mean, well, okay, but this doesn't add up, does it?
Well, clearly someone's lying. Then you just have to ask who.
Staffed by the team members with the willingness to work. This man obviously was at a Pizza Hut full of people that did not want to work on Thanksgiving. He's a general manager. He'd been there for 10 years. He obviously wasn't going anywhere in life. Felicity, why would... God, that was... Wow. Did I just say that out loud? But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
Well, anyway, he wanted to have Thanksgiving off. And rightfully so. And who the hell orders pizza on Thanksgiving anyway? It's ridiculous. But anyway, then Pizza Hut claims, oh, well, no one has to work on Thanksgiving if they don't want to. And now you're on the Pizza Hut website. Well,
trying to find their hours. No luck.
You gonna order a pizza?
No.
1:45 a.m. here.
No, I want to check that guy's claims because if that higher up guy is right, and that it is up to at least someone a little lower down the food chain, not just like National says open.
So you're thinking he got fired for something else, maybe?
Huh?
So you're thinking maybe he did something and got fired for something else? It's a possibility.
I'm thinking that a lot of times with these, not a lot of times, but sometimes these inflammatory internet stories are just loads of BS. It's someone that wants to make a statement or someone that wants to be famous and just goes out there and just says something just to get their name out there and that'll show them. What was that? There was something with those like receipts. You know, there's one of these stories that goes around every couple months where there's there's a receipt with a horrible little note scribbled on it. It goes, it says zero tip, $360 bill, tip 0, and then scribbled in the margins, there's always something and people get all worked up about these. Oh, waitress didn't get tipped because he was gay.
Oh, that story. Yep, we were thinking about that. Now that ended up being a hoax.
Exactly. People lie about stuff on the internet for attention.
But she was capitalizing off a previous story where a waiter was not tipped because he was gay. And that was a true story.
But my point is that people lie on the internet for attention.
Or lie to the media, yeah.
I'm not saying there aren't true stories
The
out there.
fact that Pizza Hut couldn't just come out and say, look, this guy's a liar, here's what he did. It was just a very general statement.
I don't think they're allowed to just...
Yeah, it's true.
...declare to the world, the guy was incompetent, so we dumped... they're not allowed to just go out there and say...
Okay. So, you're right, though. This is sketchy. We can't be 100% sure. So let's just take this on a more cut-and-dry philosophical stance. How do you feel about places like Pizza Hut being open on Thanksgiving?
I don't go to them. I don't have any urge to go to them. And if everyone else thinks like me, then they have no right to be open.
You think that those people deserve a day off, then? You don't think they should be open on Thanksgiving? So if this manager was in fact taking a stand and his story is true, is he the good guy in this? A martyr, a John Proctor. Modern day John Proctor.
I
I say yes. You backed yourself into a corner here if you don't say yes to that. After what you just said. If he's assuming that he's telling the truth. If he's lying, he's absolute scum. Some ways. To try to act like a hero when in fact maybe he was embezzling and we find out later that he's in court. Facing prison time because he constantly stole money.
We don't know what the backstory is, but yes. If we take everything exactly at face value, then yes.
And he'd been there for 10 years. Why now take the stand? Why now? What was different about last year's Thanksgiving?
He wasn't a manager last year.
No, he says he's been one for 10 years.
Maybe they didn't force him to work last year.
Well, either way. So then he'd be selfish, essentially.
I don't know.
Because he didn't think about it until it only affected himself, and technically that's what selfish means, partially. Selfish, rooting from the fact you're just thinking about yourself. Even if it's okay or not okay.
Yes, I mean, you always have to think about, like the connotations of words. I mean, not to get, super technical on you, but you can say selfish and say, oh, but selfish isn't always a bad thing. But selfish always sounds like a bad thing. It's always used in bad context, and so everyone just immediately associates selfish with bad.
I associate you with bad.
Well, I know, I do too, but...
You're right. Yeah. And so does your mother.
Ouch.
And everyone who loves her.
And
your brother.
I'm so confused right now. I don't even know how to respond to this.
You stupid motherfucker. See, my glass is still half full. I'm not drunk. This is just me being weird. Hopefully I'll be drunk by the time we get to Yahoo Answers. Although we're approaching that pretty quickly.
You better hurry up.
We're 2.5 minutes left with part 2. This might only be a 4-parter. This might be a short one.
Oh no! Not 4.
I can find other things. No,
I don't think we have to stretch it more than 4. If we don't want to.
Yeah, that's true. We don't. But
traditionally, we just have so much to.
We yelled about the Walmart thing, right?
Okay, check.
We don't need to be broken records about that. Oh, Bloomberg's no longer mayor of New York City. Term limits. Ha ha ha. Just a random little thing I should say there. I'm not going to have him to yell at anymore. Well, coming up in part 3, an article titled, "In God We Trust, Maybe, but Not Each Other." Story about Americans not trusting each other.
Wow, really? I wouldn't have got that from the title at all.
I still have no clue how we're going to address this. We're just going to kind of talk about it. And I think it'll be fun. And, of course, some Yahoo Answers. And in between the two things, maybe a little something I have up my sleeve that I haven't talked to you about yet.
Because you always have to have a back catalog of just in case.
Oh, I do. And I'm already thinking about it. I've got an article. I've got some stuff in my documents from the world of Craigslist.
Another thing, that other thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to get interesting.
Oh, it always is. So, stick around on this Saturday night. I mean, for God's sake, last call for alcohol is pretty much happening right now. So, once that's over, well, do you know who you want to take you home? If not, well, I'm not going to take you home. I'm already home doing this show, but you can at least listen to me when you get there.
That's what they have the mobile app for.
I'm really talking out of my ass tonight, even more so than in past shows.
You're having fun with it.
I am.
This is called improv. This is where the magic happens.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? Some other words happen in that song later on. Something da da da. Da 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 da. So stick around. We'll be back. I hope.